For pretty much my entire life, the conflicts in story-driven games have tended to be hugely dramatic and serious. If you think about it, there probably aren't too many high-profile releases where there isn't something massive at stake. You've probably fought for your life, your village, your planet, your galaxy dozens of times, right? I think it's one of the most interesting trends in modern gaming that we're starting to see more experiences where conflicts arise around personal relationships or crises of identity and self-worth. These experiences may not provide us with a power fantasy or escapism, the same way Breath of the Wild or Just Cause does, but I would argue they provide something even more valuable. Games like Night in the Woods can tell us relatable personal stories, and thus engage with us on an incredibly human level. They make us feel less alone, and they force us to consider other people more complexly. Night in the Woods definitely achieves these things, but it also stands on a pedestal as a truly masterful work of characterization, storytelling, and presentation. While there is a central mystery and some adventure game elements in Night in the Woods, the main gameplay loop involves talking to people within the town of Possum Springs and spending time with your friends. When described like that, it might not be immediately clear why this game is anything more than a run-of-the-mill dating simulator, granted with some fun platforming elements involved. What really makes this game a classic is its consistent character writing and its convincing portrayal of youth culture. I'm going to be purposely vague here to avoid spoilers, but Night in the Woods deals with themes of mental illness, self-image, family ties, inequality, domestic violence, sexuality, religion, poverty, and political divisions, and it does so with maturity and realism. This realism makes it easy to connect and empathise with all of the story's characters, which means that when the game wants to land an emotional punch, it's incredibly impactful. One of the recurring comments I've seen from people that have played this game is that they have seen aspects of themselves and their friends brought into sharp relief by the game's characters. While at first I had trouble empathising with May, the main character, I eventually realised that one of the things that was making me cringe at her dialogue was that she was displaying some of my traits from when I was in my late teens and early 20s. One of the things that makes Night in the Woods feel so important is that it deals with personal tribulations that everyone experiences, but are rarely talked about. Everyone has, at one point or another, felt worthless, trapped, or alone. In Night in the Woods, characters don't just experience these feelings, they're made into significant plot points, normalised, and discussed openly. I think it's pretty significant that a single-player game is capable of making people feel less isolated and more understood. It's a rare game that can make you change the way you see the world, and different people will get different things out of this experience, but Night in the Woods has definitely changed the way I see myself, and made me think more about the ways I interact with other people. Aside from the themes and script, Night in the Woods is an artistic delight. The game's simple but expressive characters and locations interact beautifully with the setting's rich autumnal lighting. The detail put into animations, from May's cute ear twitch to Greg's excited flailing, massively helps to communicate emotion and characterization. And musically, there's a reason there are currently hundreds of covers of tracks from the game on YouTube. The soundtrack is unique, constantly inventive, and brilliantly depictive. Night in the Woods probably isn't for everyone though. It might feel like some of the experience is plodding, especially at the start, even if this pacing is important for the sake of the narrative. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are people to whom the cultural themes in Night of the Woods seem completely alien, which would obviously affect how relatable you find it to be. But if you enjoyed the themes of Gone Home, Life is Strange, Oxenfree or Undertale, or even if outside of gaming you found solace in the relatable humanity of Steven Universe or BoJack Horseman, chances are Night in the Woods will strike a very personal chord with you. It is, without a doubt, one of my favourite experiences of recent years. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time to my channel, please consider subscribing to see more of these discussions in the future. I also make a whole bunch of covers of video game music, so if that's your thing, you can check that out with the cards on screen now. Take care of yourself and I'll catch you soon.